channel. Bookdown #7.
Bruh.
In 1957, Juan Manuel Fangio won his fifth title in Formula One, an absolute record at the time. Through the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, no one had beaten it. Some had come close, for example Alain Prost, but no one had managed to equal it until now. Then, in 2002, Michael Schumacher did it. He equaled the record. 2003 proved the chance for him to outright hold it. Would he manage to do it? Would Ferrari win their fifth Constructors' crown in a row? Let's find that out by diving into this week's History of Formula One video. Some changes for the new season included the enhanced system now being mandatory, no fueling between the qualifying and race, the hydraulic power assisted rack and pinion became mandatory. There was only one type of wet tires now, and optional Friday testing was introduced for teams which decided to run less miles on standalone test days. However, the two big changes for the season was one lap qualifying and the now improved point system, with 10 points going to the winner and the first 8 finishers scoring points in the 10-8-6-4-3-2-1 manner. Ferrari retained Rubens Barrichello alongside Michael Schumacher, whilst Williams W had Ralf Schumacher next to Juan Pablo Montoya yet again. McLaren and Mercedes opted to keep Kimi Räikkönen and David Coulthard together, whilst Renault opted for former test driver Fernando Alonso to partner Jarno Trulli. Sauber Petronas got Heinz Harald Frentzen and Nick Heidfeld in an all-German lineup. Jordan Ford got Ralph Furman next to Giancarlo Fisichella, and Jaguar Cosworth had Antonio Pizzogna alongside Mark Webber. As for BAR Honda, they chose Jenson Button to partner 1997 champion Jacques Villeneuve. Minardi Cosworth ran Justin Wilson alongside Jos Verstappen, and finally Toyota got Olivier Panis next to Cristiano De Mata. As for the calendar, it had 16 rounds, with the Belgian Grand Prix cancelled for controversy regarding tobacco advertising. The first round was once again the Australian Grand Prix. Ferrari managed the front row lockout in qualifying with Michael Schumacher ahead. However, Rubens would retire after an accident and Michael would have a troublesome race and finish 4th. Despite starting 11th, Coulthard made his way through the field and landed in a podium position. Then, when race leader Montoya spun, David took the lead and eventually the victory. Raikkonen took third, helping McLaren take the lead in the constructors and sandwiching Montoya. Trulli and Alonso took double points finishes for Renault in 5th and 7th respectively. Frentzen got Sauber Hall of Points in 6th, and Ralf Schumacher rounded up the points. In Malaysia, Renault secured a seemingly unlikely front row lockout, with Alonso on pole for the first time in his career. Despite this, the Spaniard would only finish third, with Trulli 5th, and it would be the McLaren winning again, this time with Raikkonen on the top step. Barrichello would lead the Ferrari to 6th, whilst Ralf Schumacher would be the only Williams in the points in 4th. Patton and Heidfeld would round up the points. Barrichello barely took pole for his home race in Sao Paulo, but a rainy day would prove to be quite a challenge, as many crashes unfolded, including the likes of Montoya, Schumacher, and Alonso. However, when the race was stopped, the classification were made to match the end of lap 54, meaning Raikkonen and Fisichella disputed the win heavily, only for it to be resolved just before the next Grand Prix at Imola, with Giancarlo declared as the winner. Despite crashing, Alonso still got a podium position, and Coulthard, Frentzen, Ralf Schumacher, and Trulli completed the points. Continuing his streak of unlucky home Grand Prix, Barrichello ran out of fuel whilst leading the Grand Prix. Ferrari were back up top in Imola, Schumacher taking pole position and then winning the race, with championship leader Raikkonen in second. Barrichello got third and helped Ferrari jump up to second in the constructors, with the team now coming back in both championships title fight. Ralph got fourth, Coulthard fifth, and Alonso, Montoya, and Button closed the points paying positions. In Spain, Ferrari once again got a front row lockout, again with Michael ahead. This time, though, unlike Australia, it translated into a good race, with Michael winning yet again and Rubens finishing third, with Alonso splitting them at his home Grand Prix. Montoya led the Williams for 5, De Mata took 6 and with his first points in Formula 1, as did Furman with 8th. Webber got 7th and scored his first points his debut in Australia 2002. Both McLaren drivers couldn't finish due to separate collisions, and so Ferrari and Schumacher were right there with McLaren in the race for both championships. Schumacher took yet another pole the following race in Austria, with title rival Raikkonen alongside him on the front row. These two finished in the same order and the same placement as in the race, but Kimi still led the championship by a tiny 2 points. Barrichello took third and made sure Ferrari overtook McLaren by 1 point in the constructors, whilst Button, Coulthard, Ralf Schumacher, Webber, and then Trulli also took points. Ralf Schumacher took a surprising pole position at the next round in Monaco. However, an eventful race saw him finish 4th. Instead, his teammate Montoya took his first win of the season ahead of championship leader Raikkonen and then Michael Schumacher. Renault grabbed the 5-6, Alonso ahead, and Coulthard and Barrichello also scored points. This put McLaren back in the lead of the constructors by 2 points and elevated Williams to third ahead of Renault. Ralph did take pole yet again in Canada, but was outclassed by his brother in the race, who finally took the championship lead along with his victory. Montoya got third ahead of Alonso and Barrichello, the latter of which managed to bring back Ferrari to the constructors' lead, with Coulthard having a gearbox failure and Raikkonen only finishing 6th for McLaren, allowing Williams to make inroads into their second place. Webber and Panis also scored points. Yet again, the European Grand Prix was held at the Nürburgring, where Raikkonen beat championship rival and home hero Michael Schumacher to pole. Sadly, an engine failure wasted his chance of reclaiming the championship lead. Williams instead jumped to second in the constructors with a surprise 1-2, with Ralph getting his first win of the season. Barrichello took home the final podium place, with Alonso, Michael Schumacher, Webber, Button and Hadfield also in the points. Round 10 of the season, the French Grand Prix at Manicure, saw Ralf Schumacher take a brilliant pole to win, which put him in the championship contention. Michael, his brother and championship leader, took home third place, but Montoya helped Williams take another 1-2 and jump up to just 3 points behind constructors leaders Ferrari. Raikkonen and Coulthard salvaged 4th and 5th for McLaren, which were falling back in the title race. Webber took another impressive points finish for Jaguar, and Barrichello and Pani rounded up the points. A track-invaded British Grand Prix saw Barrichello claim a pole to win, sharing the podium with Montoya and Raikkonen. Michael Schumacher and Coulthard followed, and Trulli, Damata and Button also got points. Damn and that, with 5 rounds left, Michael Schumacher led the driver championship by 7 points, with Raikkonen second, and with Montoya 14 points behind, Ralf Schumacher 16 points behind, and Barrichello 20 points behind all realistic contenders for a title. In the constructors' title race, Ferrari had a 10-point lead over Williams, with McLaren a further 13 points behind. A collision at the start of the German Grand Prix saw title contenders Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher and Raikkonen out. Profiting by this, Montoya took a pole to win ahead of Coulthard, with fellow title contender Michael Schumacher finishing only 7th. Renault had a good race, securing a free 4 with Trulli ahead, and so did 5th and 6th place Toyota, which had Panis in front of D'Amata. Button completed the points, and so Montoya jumped up to second in the drivers, 6 points behind Michael Schumacher, and Williams closed in to just 2 points behind Ferrari in the constructors. In Hungary, Renault continued their good run with the pole to win courtesy of Alonso, who became the first Spaniard to ever win in Formula 1. Raikkonen got second, whilst Williams took the constructors' lead by 8 points with a free 4, Ralph ahead. Webber, Trulli and Michael Schumacher completed the points. This meant that, with 3 rounds remaining, Michael Schumacher led the driver standings by just 1 point from Montoya and 2 points from Raikkonen, with his brother Ralph, Alonso, Barrichello and Coulthard, all with a pretty slight chance of claiming it. Michael Schumacher continued the pole to win Trent's team's home race, Team Monza, with Montoya and Barrichello on the podium alongside him. Raikkonen, Mark Henne, who stood in for an injured Ralf Schumacher, Villeneuve, Webber and Alonso also took points. The race left Williams to lead the constructors by 4 points from Ferrari, with McLaren slipping away a further 17 points behind. It was also a 3-horse race in drivers, with Michael Schumacher on 82 points, Montoya on 79 points, and Raikkonen on 75 points. The penultimate round in the USA saw Raikkonen take a crucial pole, with Montoya 4th and Michael Schumacher 7th on the grid. Montoya struggled to 6th and got eliminated from the title fight in the race, and Michael Schumacher fought back to beat Raikkonen to the win, meaning that, 9 points ahead of the Finn going to the final race, only a win for him in a bad race for Michael would land the Finn the title. Frentzen took a brilliant podium for Sauber, and Hatfield made their day even better with a 5th place finish. Trulli was 4th, Fisichella 7th, and Wilson 8th. In the constructors' title race, McLaren had been mathematically eliminated, and Ferrari had taken the lead by just 3 points from Williams going into the final race. In Japan, the final race, Barrichello took pole, crucially ahead of Kimi, as Michael had a stinker of a qualifying and would start 14th. However, Barrichello held on during the race, and Schumacher took his record-breaking 6th title in 8th place. With both Williams cars now scoring, Ferrari were also constructors' champions for the 5th time in a row. Raikkonen and Coulthard ended the season strongly for McLaren with a 2-3, and Button, Trulli, Sato, who was also the new BAR signing, and D'Amata also scored points. In the end, it was a very exciting season with a bit of an anticlimactic ending. We had 5, even 6 drivers in with a title chance at some moments, and 3 teams leading the constructors at different points of the season. But in the end, as usual for the early 2000s, it was Ferrari up top. Next time we'll dive into the 2004 season. Before that though, like, subscribe and goodbye.